I say, don't marry who you love. I say, love who you marry. Because that's what the Bible teaches. If you love somebody and God approves of that person, that's good. It's an added advantage. But you may love somebody and God will say that's not the person. You will sacrifice your love and marry who God says. And so you are asking a question, you say, if I don't marry who I love, who should I marry? You marry the person God leads you to. Number two, you marry a person that fears God, that is under the government of God. And number three, you marry the person that is compatible with your purpose. If you find these three, you will love that person. But if you marry somebody you love who God is not choosing for you, or you marry somebody you love who is not under God's government, and you marry who you love and he does not compact with your purpose, after a few years you will discover that that love will vanish. Because if you study love itself in context, you will discover that it will be impossible to really get to love somebody that you have not understood and have not trusted. Because love has three cadres. The first cadre of love is affection. The second cadre of love is understanding. Understanding is superior to affection. If you start working with somebody and you journey for a while, if you can't understand yourself, you will discover that the lack of understanding will destroy the affection that once existed. Because affection is superior to understanding is superior to affection in the ladder of love. And then when you move a bit further, you will now discover that the third ladder or the third rung on the ladder is trust. Trust is superior to understanding. If you don't trust somebody, you will discover that understanding will collapse. Affection will also collapse. And so when you are even talking love, you cannot really explore love in its fullness unless as you marry somebody and live with a person for a long time. That's why God commands people to love who they marry. And it doesn't really endorse who you love before you get married. If you do and God chooses that person, it's another advantage. And if you have studied love also, apart from this ladder that I've explained to you, there are 4 things you will discover about love. Because there are 4 words for love in the Greek. The first word for love is phileo. The second word for love is eros. The third word for love is storge. And the fourth word for love is agape. Love is deeper than the feeling. The word phileo is a kind of love that is created by circumstance. And that kind of love runs on emotion. So if I'm in a place with somebody for a while, because that location kept us in that place, we are going to discover that there are few things that connect us. And so because of that circumstance that is created, we will begin to bond in a way. That kind of love is called phileo. If you change that circumstance for a while, that love will begin to die. Because that love is orchestrated by a circumstance, and that love runs on emotion. If you change the circumstance and you alter the emotion, that love will die. It's called phileo. Friendship operates at that level. And then you have what we call eros. Eros is romantic love. Romantic love is motivated by your definition of beauty. It's an affection that goes in the direction of what you consider to be beautiful. And so, for example, if you consider a fair complexion to be beautiful, when you see somebody that is fair, you will get to develop that kind of affection towards that person. But over time, you will discover that because the glory of man diminishes, a point will come when that affection won't mean, that look won't mean much to you anymore. And ask those who are married, they will tell you. When you get married, you are going to discover that as powerful as sex is, even sex will become a responsibility. It's when you are not yet married that demons are touching your emotion. You say, hey. When you get married, you will know that demons were involved. You saw the lady's leg, you say, Jesus. When you get married, you will discover that that leg can be on your head. You will be burdened. Because eros is motivated by what you consider beautiful. A point will come, it will diminish. You will now discover that eros is not enough to bond you. That's why those who run to marriage because of sex, after 1 month they run out. And the people you meet before you get married, most times,